Hey guys, I just want to make a quick video about this new Abyss, and honestly it's a complete joke compared to the previous Abyss, and it is a little bit more annoying than it is hard, as the previous Abyss was completely bonkers and it was super hard to clear, and it was a whole DPS check altogether. So yeah, this consecrated beast is kind of annoying too, but I would say throughout every run in this Abyss, it's very viable for you to bring a shielder like Zhongli or Diana or something like that, just to make your life a little bit easier, a little bit less frustrating to clear. If you're struggling with a pure DPS check, then yeah, there's no need for it. But yeah, bringing a shielder will make your life way easier because a lot of these characters do stagger a lot. A lot of these opponents, sorry, do stagger you a lot. So if you have a tough time, see that's pretty annoying. So if you have a tough time just learning how to dodge or like not being able to string your rotations well, it's pretty free to just like bring a healer or sorry and a shielder. So yeah, this first half is kind of easy, and I would also suggest to bring Zelonin or Kazo, any VV holder for the Hydro Beast if you have a Hydro DPS, because he has 10 or 20% resistance against Hydro. Yeah, this side is pretty free. I was actually very surprised how free this was because I was able to 3-star this side completely like on the first run, and yeah, I had like very little time left. But even then, it was super free. I didn't really pay much attention to my clears. I was just testing our team. Yeah, this guy's attacks are pretty. He has only 3 main types of attacks. So one are these ones which you can just jump and just plunge to dodge them, and the second one, which is kind of confusing, is he takes all these rocks and he makes the floor explode. And this is also pretty easy to dodge. Just keep moving around, or you can iframe them, obviously. And the third one, which I'm not sure if it's there in this video, is very similar to the previous Abyss boss, where he just takes a bunch of rocks and he throws them at you, which you can also kind of dodge, or you can just like iframe it as super free. Yeah, this consecrated beast is a little bit more annoying than the previous one because he moves around a lot. So if you have very clunky characters, or if you have like characters that normal attack a lot, it might be a little bit of a struggle. But yeah, his HP is not that big where you have to really use like a very demanding team on this side. I would suggest for this boss is you will see later on, but yeah, don't attack him directly from like where he's facing you, like his front side, which you will see like. So don't attack him from this area because number one, it does damage and staggers you, and number two is I believe he has somewhat like a shield, which is kind of like that one of the PMA's minions. So I would suggest just attacking him from the back, which is kind of like you should probably do that to like every single boss in general. Is just attack them from the back because they won't. This is like, I don't think many people talk about this, but yeah, they won't directly attack you until they turn and look towards you, which is something you'll see for some of the smaller bosses. But this boss does not really care, to be honest. Like he's able to attack you without even looking at you directly. Like most of the big bosses are kind of like that. Yeah, this side 100% requires a bow user, no matter what. Like you should have a bow user because there's no other way to get him down unless you wait for him, which is kind of weird. Why would you do that? Yeah, I'm just doing my normal rotation, and after doing some more research, I learned that you should probably skill with Raiden under Naita's burst, which would give her like the most amount of elemental mastery. So yeah, pretty good damage here. And talk about his attacks. This attack is pretty easy to dodge. You just have to move in like the side direction. Don't move into him. Instead, just move in the opposite direction that he's doing, or like in a diagonal fashion, and be sure to sprint, so that'll give you like a good dodge. So yeah, I would say with this boss, you kind of have to know when to dodge and when not to dodge, because you can dodge stuff that you don't need to. Sometimes you will end up dodging stuff that you probably could have tanked and gotten more damage out of. So like things that don't stagger you, there's honestly no point dodging because they don't really do that much damage. And if you can dodge everything else, you'll still be at a pretty good HP where you won't be struggling as such, or you won't be dying. But yeah, I have died against this boss a few times because of his attacks. So yeah, moving on to this chamber. This chamber is kind of weird because I used to rely on them having their own pyro status for me to vaporize with Mulani, but I would not suggest you do that because the way I believe their internal cooldown is set up is that sometimes they do apply pyro to themselves. They're not able to vaporize it consistently, and even if you do vaporize it, they do have some resistance to it. That is pretty annoying. I would suggest bringing someone like Kazuo or Xiangling if you have the luxury of using Xiangling with Mulani every single time. Unfortunately, I don't. And yeah, seeing these non-crits is super painful. I think it is super important to like learn just the attack patterns, and sometimes it's like I feel like that'll give you more value than just sitting there waiting for them to finish the attack and then doing your DPS rotation. I think just knowing how to dodge and stuff like that, especially with teams like Arlecchino or Keqing Aggravate, or like this team for example, is like knowing when you do have like damage windows and when you can iframe is super important. And it's kind of like you will get practice with it like once you do learn the teams, of course, but then I feel like learning the bosses is equally important as well. So yeah, this boss is kind of annoying because he does have like a good amount of status where he's not really doing any damage and just standing there. Yeah, it is when he does this flurry of attacks, I would suggest just iframe. It's not really worth dodging them, because if you do miss like the dodge, you're gonna get staggered for a while and you're gonna lose a good chunk of your damage. And considering this boss has like almost 4 million HP, I believe, it is kind of annoying like if you do miss out on some damage. Yeah, pretty straightforward boss, honestly. Just knowing how to dodge these is, again, don't dodge into him. I would suggest dodging to the side, because that'll give you a little bit more, that'll prepare you a little bit better for the next attack to come. And yeah, pretty free boss, to be honest. Pretty free abyss, to be honest.
So yeah, moving on to the builds, I did kind of change some things around, just artifacts, not really anything else. So my fish is on 2P with these stats, pretty good. I put literally no ER on her, because every time I run her with Raiden, she almost always gets her burst back. It's a 60 cost burst, so it's not that painful to get her burst back, and she doesn't need to have her burst back every single time. Stringless are 2P, of course. C3, unfortunately I do not have C6, which is a shame. 11-6, I do plan on crowning her soon, like, yeah. Moving on to Nahida. Nahida is kind of on like, because she's on field, so I did prioritize a little bit of her normals, and I did R5 her Mappa Maya recently just to give her this stack which gives 32% bonus damage. So yeah, and then she's on a Dendro Goblet instead of an EM Goblet. C0, 8-6 talents, and Zilonin. Honestly, Zilonin could have half her main service defense, half this, and have all her artifacts of the same set, and it be 0. Like, this is not even level 20. If it was 0 as well, she would still be just as good. She's so OP, honestly. C0, and I did crown her E, which you probably should, like, regardless. So this is my EM Raiden. EM Raiden has, I believe I'm missing an artifact set on her. Yeah, I believe I'm missing this one. Yeah, so she's on 4-piece gilded. I just got her to on a 4-piece gilded, and I believe it gives 100 more EM than not having the 4-piece gilded, which is kind of, it's not that significant, but yeah, it's pretty good. Like, I did notice my damage go up. Moving on to Yelan. Yelan's on a pretty good crit ratio as well. A little bit too much crit. Pav Warbo, of course. 4-piece emblem is a must. The talents 6-8, probably should level them up. Klee, I'm not gonna showcase her build too much, like, it's very irrelevant. Kazuha's again, I have to keep switching this artifact around, but yes, I have like I believe I have only 1 or 2 EM circlets, which is this actually the hardest stat wise to get an EM circlet, 4 piece, and I have his Western slot as well. His stats don't really matter that much, only his burst scales off this, yes. So yeah, moving on to Molani. Molani's on a whatever build, to be honest. Like, it's not the best, but it's pretty copium, to be honest. So yeah, I am working on getting a 4 piece for her. No cons, 9 and 8. Again, I'm working on her crown as well. Mona's build doesn't really matter. The only thing that matters is her ER, so it's pretty good. Xingshu, again, I haven't changed his build much from the last video, so pretty good amount of ER. He honestly, I could get away with using less ER and focusing on his stats, but yeah, it's working well so far. Like, honestly, this Xingshu build, I'm very happy. He's able to burst every single rotation without any effort. Unfortunately, no C6. 611. Chavruz, I did finally manage to get Chavruz to 40k history without any like buffs or anything like that. Black Tassel, I could get away with not even doing anything else on her. Like, she's perfect the way she is right now. C1, of course, she gives her a little bit more energy. And 7-1, honestly this could be at level 1, wouldn't make a difference, but I did need a little bit of healing, I can't lie. So yeah, if there's anyone I'm missing, I'm not sure if I showcase Shangling, but yeah. So Shangling, the way I only switch her weapon around to the catch when I'm using her with the Raiden, but otherwise she's on the Fab Lance, just to give her a little bit more energy. And this is a crit ratio, pretty good crit ratio, and the only thing I should probably work on is a little bit of EM, but yeah, it's like a pretty good Shangling build, I can't lie. So yeah, that's it for the build, so please consider liking and leaving a comment, and yeah, don't forget to subscribe.